This week in disc golf, Ganon breaks the course, rumors swirl around FPO future being in jeopardy, Paul accomplishes another first in his career, and Paige drops a bombshell, and so much more. Welcome, Disc Generates. I'm Swiss Cheese, the one with all the holes in his game from the disc golf world, and we got another episode of This Week in Disc Golf, providing the humor takes on all things disc golf from the past week. Disc Golf World shirts are in. Make sure to grab them while they are available. Details below, and trust, proceeds will help fund the remainder of the tour. Thanks everybody for taking the time to watch, and huge shout out to those of you who have subscribed. We appreciate you so much, and we could not grow without your support. Continue to share our content with others, and always keep those comments coming. Many might have felt it would be a quiet week with a shortened field silver event, as many players headed overseas for the European swing, and oh, were they wrong. Let's first start off with the 41st Kansas City Wide Open at Bad Rock Creek. One of the more notable notes from this event was the appearance of more fans cheering this silver event than the DDO earlier this season. Many fans stated that they would prefer to go to this event due to location and price, despite it missing a number of notable big names in the sport that the DDO had. Fans still came out in loud support. Day one opened up with some blistering hot rounds, and some would say peculiar and perpendicular play. Young teenage talent Joseph Anderson, or better known as Joey Buckets, shot over a 1080 round with a 13 under on the day. Mainly grinding on local and smaller A tiers for most of the season, Mr. Buckets has fallen outside the top 5 only twice this season. One of those being his home state Champions Cup, where he finished in a very respectful 32nd place. Not bad for a major. Ganon Burr made some waves by dissecting hole 12 with what was a non-existing route in the tournament director's eyes. Ganon chose to throw a perpendicular off the tee towards the following hole to have a far more open look at the basket. Yeah, of course he birdied it. A route so outlandish that pros suggested that there would be backups when others tried it the next day. Ultimately, tournament directors went full fire and brimstone, Reverend Shaw Moore, and added a Mando, eliminating the shot altogether. Their claim, of course, it was for player safety, despite players claiming the throw wasn't even a threat. Ganon would not let that aggression stand, and after river dancing his way through a 6 under through 11, signed the Mando and birdied the hole anyways. Not too sure how he can hold a Sharpie, however, let alone sign with those ET fingers, but he makes it work. He shot the hot round on the day with a 12 under. Also had that 400-foot straight mid-range throw that everybody was overly hyped on. We've seen plenty of pros pipe 400 mid-ranges on far more difficult lines than the open approach on that shot. Call me a hater, but that shot in most events over the weekend seemed to be manufactured drama. Ganon went into the final day with a 2-stroke lead over Joey Buckets heading into the final day. Ganon would struggle early and allowed a tight race, as he was tied with Joey through 13. In the end, Ganon went to birdie 3 of the remaining 5 holes and cruised to a 2-stroke win. Let's give some recognition to Joey, I need a new nickname, Buckets Anderson. Don't know why I get more Jersey Turnpike than teenage kid from Georgia. Anyways, this teenager and his limited exposure to the DGPT Tour placed 25th at Idlewild last year, a 32nd at Champions Cup, a major with the widest field, and now a 2nd place in a silver event. Those 3 tournaments are held on some of the more difficult courses on tour, and with those finishes at his age should open more eyes to his game. Jake Hubenheimer, without the horseshoe putt, finished on the podium with a solo 3rd place finish. To add to the manufactured drama of the weekend, to the fact that the DGPT might eliminate the FPO division altogether at their events. And though many women alluded to this being the possible future, this latest meeting and call seemed to gather more of the buzz. Or it was a slow news week. She mentions that the DGPT is broke from the fighting the lawsuits that Natalie Ryan has made in California and Minnesota. The thought process to avoid the courts and lawyers' fees, why not eliminate the field completely and go with just the mixed division, would be a bold move in my eyes. We have seen it practiced by some other TDs on the lower circuit this season already. Add the argument that some love to highlight the MPO is already subsidizing the FPO division, so why not put that money to better use? There's no chance this happens in my mind, and the tour would only go as far as eliminating tour spots in the states that list transgender discrimination in their laws, let alone eliminating that possible viewership and subscriptions. To exclude the inclusion of a single player would not seem to be a sound business decision, and the past actions of the DGPT displayed their commitment to the FPO side of the sport already. They forced Jomez to add the FPO coverage hosted by 2 hot geese before their merger, and their most popular disc golfer in the world is in the FPO division in Kristen Tatar. But I want to hear from you guys. Comment below if you think this is even a possibility. Local pro and easily one of the most liked disc golfers on tour, Allie Smith, helped eliminate all that talk as she came out with a strong 3 under on her first day. Despite having an uncanny resemblance to Corey Ellis, the former Ultimate player learned the game a disc golf on this course. She won the amateur championship in 2021, and she recently quit her high school math job to pursue her disc golf dream. And a storyline like that, she opened the eyes to many disc golfers, and the storyline is very cute Disney, but her play has been solid also. She has not finished outside the top 20 since the Open in Austin in mid-March, had 4 top 10 finishes in that span also, and quietly has had one of the most consistent first full-time tour in the FPO, a near lock for Rookie of the Year already. Allie would continue the solid play on day 2 and head into the final day in the lead ahead of Hannah Wynn, Lisa Fakis, and Holland Hanley. And Allie did not start like the previous 2 days, going 3 over through the front 9, carding a triple on hole 3 and a double bogey on hole 6. She was tied with Lisa through 13 and also had Holland shooting the hot round of the tournament, also pushing for the win. Allie was able to stay calm and more importantly clean, shooting 2 under through the final 5 holes as her competition was unable to keep pace, sealing her first DGPT win of her short career. Also moving into 11th place in the DGPT point standing. Holland was able to take second with her hot round 4 under of the tournament. Add the fact that Vegas had troubles late certainly helped. Hannah took down her second podium on the season on an already productive season thus far. Over at the European Tour, Paul was able to get a victory on his birthday and his 3rd on Euro Tour at the Skellefteå Open in Sweden, where he was serenaded by the crowd. This win marked the first time Paul McBeth has won 3 or more events in Europe in a single year, and his play as of late has been a far cry from the famous Estonia Open. Not bad, as he just began the PCS Open, his first Elite Series event since Jonesboro, and the European Open the following week. Even more viral than yet another Paul McBeth win was Jakub Semerad round 1 blow-up. The world putting champion was inside 15 feet for birdie look, only to airball 4 straight throws. Cue the Sarah McLachlan track and just let this Some other quick hitting news. Masters Disc Golf World Championship is currently running. You still have the best ponytail in the game, Michael Johansson and Cale LaVisca tied for first in the MP40. Not sure why, but Cale reminds me of the kid who had all the money during the Scholastic Book Fair that everyone was jealous of, while Owen Scoggins and Holly Finley are knotted up in the FP40. Paige Pierce had a terrible accident slipping on a bridge in Norway, resulting in an early finish to her season as the injury was serious enough to require surgery, metal plates, and screws on her left foot. LL Bean announced they will sponsor the World Championship, putting up $275,000 in prize pool money, the largest prize pool in the history of disc golf. And I, for one, think it's great for the players in the disc golf game, because nothing says disc golf more than a $180 Heritage Irish Fisherman crew neck sweater. Yuli is the first player to reach 200 starts at elite and major events in the MPO, also being the first player to start 200 elite and major events without a win. Babyface Garrett Gerthy dropped the big question to Jessica Weiss as the two celebrate now being engaged. With many players overseas, we have seen a player drop of personal clips and photos, everything including majestic views, standard sauna and lake dives. Ricky caught 2 Wimbledon matches along with some strawberries and cream, and Ella Hansen's gas station buy. Gritty, the Philadelphia Flyers mascot, came out with a video clip with his full meth eyes, still shooting better than a quarter of the guys who show up at every league night. Before we get into recapping my KC Wide Open picks and ultimately the PCS Open sleeper to watch, I want to announce that my weekly players to watch segment will be moved over to the Swiss Cheese Disc Golf channel. I really enjoy doing this segment, but the intention for Twig was for it to be a short, quick-hitting humor weekly recap, and it's gotten a little too long as of late. So to get back to those roots, I'll have my sleeper pick here on This Week in Disc Golf, and since I really like the tournament predictions, I'll have a more in-depth player picks every Friday over at the Swiss Cheese Disc Golf channel. My last week's picks for the FPO all finished within the top 10. Not shabby at all. Holland Hanley still looked good with a competitive second-place finish, while veteran picks Lisa Fakis took 4th and Deanne Carey finished in 10th. I was right on Ganon, but it was a very chalk pick, while Emerson Keith climbed to 6th place on the final day, and Ben Calloway ended the tourney in 15th place. The PCS Open, despite being known for having the best trophy of any tour stop, my opinion, comment if you disagree, has some of the best scenery surrounding a course. And with a Viking and Norse mythology theme with a feature hole named Gates of Valhalla, fans are in store for an exciting weekend. With this being an Elite Series event, a number of players from all over the world will be in attendance, including the biggest names in the game, but we are here for the sleepers. The event has already finished its first day as I'm recording this, and trust, I had these picks in prior to the start of the event, and with them performing well, Leave me on this, but I'm still going to say it. First on the list in the FPO is Heidi Laney. She might be a sleeper in the States, but on the European Tour, she is a force, and her 3-under on day one proves this. She is second behind Evelina Salonen at the moment and should push for a podium finish. And in the MPO, I'm going to go with James Proctor. He played this course last year and is more familiar with this course than some other players from the States. He has played well there last year and does play well overseas also. James is currently tied for the lead with the heavy hitters of disc golf, Calvin Heimberg, Paul McBeth. Guys, get over and make sure to check out Swiss Cheese DG's channel for the rest of my player picks, future tour content, vlogs, and more upcoming. And that wraps up another This Week in Disc Golf. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if this is your first time and you want more, check out the previous week's episodes.